Coming up on this edition of the ZTV Sports Report, a sold-out James A. Rhodes Arena was left disappointed at halftime. Could Keith Dambrot and company come back to beat the school 15 miles down the road?
Jody Kest and the Lady Zips jumped into MAC West play this past week. Could they start off with a W against Northern Illinois?
And we revisit the jar as we give you an inside look at where the basketball team spends a lot of their time off the court.
All that and more coming up on the ZTV Sports Report.
Welcome into the ZTV studios. It's the Sports Report back with you for another week and another semester of everything Akron sports. I'm Stacy Salvi, and it's good to be back with my co-host, DJ Johnson.
Well, I guess we could put it that way, but it has been nice to get back to doing what we love, and that's covering the Zips.
Now, the men's basketball team hit the road this past week, jumping into MAC West play as they took on Ball State and Central Michigan.
They do say it is a wild, wild west. I learned that from my good friend Will Smith. But before we get ahead of ourselves, I believe there was a big game played at home before the Zips road trip.
You must be talking about the matchup with the Flashes.
What's that?
Okay. Kent rolled into town last Saturday looking to knock the Zips off the top spot in the MAC East. Could the Flashes steal a win on the Zips' home floor?
A sold-out James A. Rhodes Arena filling up pregame in the 133rd matchup between the two schools. Wagon wheel challenge in effect as the Zips come out looking for the W. Into the action, a back-and-forth first half as Alex Abreu with the crafty pass to Zeke Marshall. Kent would respond as Randall Holt cashes in 3 of his 27 on the night. Chauncey Gilliam would get the breakaway late in the first half, but Akron would fall back 42-34 at the break. No worries, Zips fans. Quincy Diggs, right wing 3-ball, it's all good. Now a 55-52 Kent advantage. Next possession, left wing this time, and Diggs decides he's going to tie this one up. The Zips kept it rolling with Nick Harney, 19 second half points and a goaltend right here. Really the only way they could keep the sophomore from dropping buckets. A 28-6 run at one point would give the Zips an 84-75 win.
Now the Zips put on quite a show in that second half, shooting nearly 62% for the final 20 minutes. You would think Coach Dambrot would be pleased.
Let's hear what the head coach as well as a few big-time performers had to say after the game.
I thought like at halftime we went in there and it was like we got punched in the gut and I didn't know if we were going to recover or not. We just emotionally looked like we were just done. But we've kind of shown ability to come back all year, and I think our guys did a good job at hanging in there and staying composed, and the crowd really helped us.
Once our crowd started getting behind us, we start taking the lead, momentum start going your way. You just play so much better, adrenaline rushing. So at times it felt fake, but just going through it.
What I talked to him about was, look, we have to be more aggressive defensively. We can't be that passive. We can't give up that many. We have to play shorter intervals and use our bench and try to tire them, and just try to stay aggressive defensively rather than being so position oriented. We had to get at them a little bit, and that's really what we try to do is use our bench, because I feel like we have a really good bench, and we had to try to stay at them.
To catch the full-length post-game thoughts of Coach Dambrot, Nick Harney, and Chauncey Gilliam, log on to ztvsports.com. ztvsports.com brings you our YouTube page featuring every press conference throughout the season, as well as full episodes of the Sports Report.
Now, Stacy, I think it's time to bring up the Zips road trip to Ball State and Central Michigan, as well as preview the week ahead for the UA men's b-ball team.
Yeah, you're right. But I don't think that's our job. Let's bring back the duo of David Coy and Dee Harris, as the sports team likes to call them, Dee-Coy.
It's a new semester, and we are back with you once again. I'm David Coy, and as always, right next to me is Dee Harris. Now, with the semester just starting out, it has been an exciting one to say the least. The University of Akron men's basketball team whited out the jar, and the Zips gained a few more points in the Wagon Wheel Challenge when they defeated the Flashes 84-75.
A sold-out crowd of 5,252 fans made this into one of the most electrifying atmospheres we've seen in the jar this season. What a great back-and-forth game until the second half when sophomore Nick Harney took over the game.
The thing that impresses me the most is that this Akron basketball team is deep. Akron had 41 points off the bench, and Kent State only had 15.
Also with that win, Keith Dambrot is now the 7th all-time winningest coach in the MAC. He currently has 195 wins in only 8 seasons. And Dambrot looked to build on that total when Akron went on the road to Ball State and took on the Cardinals, which was sure to be a great matchup between the two top teams in each division.
What came out was an impressive victory by the Zips as they swept past the Cardinals 70-58. UA once again came out of the locker room strong after trailing 30-27 at the half.
Akron had tremendous bench production as they scored 30 points on the night. Brian Walsh also had an impressive day by chipping in a career-high 16 points.
Also, Zeke Marshall ended the night tied for 7th place for the most all-time block shots in the MAC. The big man recorded 5 rejections against the Cardinals.
The Zips have turned over the ball a lot in their last 2 contests as they have given away 17 times against Ball State. Looking ahead into the rest of the season, the turnover margin is something the Zips will definitely have to improve on.
Now, after Akron battled Ball State, they continued their journey on the road to Central Michigan. For that game, let us take a look at the Zips update scoreboard. The next home game at the Jar is going to be on February 1st when the Zips take on the Toledo Rockets at 7 p.m. Now, Toledo has struggled in MAC play this season, but have already eclipsed their 4-win total from a year ago.
Toledo was able to hold Ball State close, but they wound up losing the game, coming up short 70-68. Toledo also took on Youngstown State, which Akron defeated 88-62. Toledo took an 86-77 victory over the Penguins.
Last year, Akron was able to beat the Toledo Rockets in their only meeting 59-41. Currently, Toledo holds the lead in the series between these two teams, 29-24, and Akron currently has a 5-game winning streak.
Well, you know they're taking on another MAC foe, so good luck to our Zips.
Well, let's now move on to something we all know and love, and that's some Zips trivia. And I've certainly missed it over the break.
Well, sticking with Akron men's basketball, how many starters are from the state of Ohio? Stay tuned for the surprising answer coming up after the break.